If you tell me that your baby has never taken a short nap, I 1,000% would not believe you because it's kind of just a rite of passage with babies. So today we're going to talk about what to do if your baby does take a short nap and how to prevent them in the future. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos before, hi, I'm Jensine. I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant, mom of 3 and postpartum doula who brings real life sleep science with real life, pairs them together to get you the best sleep possible that actually will work in your lifestyle. So short naps are so hard because there isn't much that you can do. It could take you like 20 minutes to get your baby down to sleep, and then you only have another like 15, 20 minutes before they wake up again. So it feels like a lot of effort for a very, very small return. And the other thing is that 20 minutes isn't long enough to do anything. You can't even really take like an everything shower. You can maybe start to make something for lunch, but you won't even have time to eat it. Maybe you can possibly start a show or start a hobby, but you're definitely not going to be able to see it all the way through. So this video is going to help you get long hour-plus naps, which is mostly the goal depending on your child's age. So let's break it down a little bit before we dive in. So if your child is between 4 and 6 months, we want them on about 3 naps, and each nap will be about an hour long, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Around 6 months, children typically transition to 2 naps. So that will be 2 hour-and-a-half naps until they're about 15-ish months old. And then we transition to 1, 2.5, 3-hour nap. So we're still getting 3 hours of naps during the day. It's just going to be broken up differently. So a short nap could mean something different depending on your child's age. If they're only taking 1 nap and it's 20 minutes long, that is nowhere near enough sleep. If they're taking 3 naps that are 20 minutes long, we're getting closer, but we're still not there. We definitely want hour-plus naps at every single age. So it can be really hard to know why your child is taking a short nap. Maybe they don't have enough sleep pressure, maybe it's the sleep environment. But the first thing that I always recommend, which sounds counterintuitive because we're talking about the end of the nap, but we really want to look at how they are initially falling asleep for that nap. If they are needing a lot of support, like rocking, feeding, walking, driving, anything, motion, anything like that, they're going to need that same thing when they wake up after 1 short sleep cycle, which can range anywhere between like 17 to 32 minutes. You probably, if your child is taking chronically short naps, you can probably time it on your watch to the exact minute that they're going to wake up. Everyone's a little bit different, but it's somewhere in that range. So we want to look at how they are initially falling asleep because that's going to clue us in to what they need when they wake up in the middle of that nap in order for them to be able to string the sleep cycles together. So if your child is taking short naps, the first thing you want to tackle is how they are falling asleep. The second thing we want to think about is what is happening when they wake up from that nap. Are they really, really upset and immediately going 0 to 60 crying? That tells me that they are still tired and we need to find a way to help them get back to sleep. If they wake up and they are calm and just hanging out, they've taken enough sleep pressure off so they're not upset and overtired, but it's still not enough sleep. Just because they wake up happy doesn't necessarily mean that they got all of the sleep that they needed. So we really, I'm going to give you 2 examples, but there are so many more examples needed to be able to master this. And I talk more about that in all of my Goodnight programs, which are broken down by age: Goodnight Baby, Goodnight Toddler, and Goodnight Preschooler. So if you are struggling with chronic short naps, this video is going to be the introduction to give you the idea of this is where we need to look. But then if you need that step-by-step and more support, then those courses are going to be where you're going to want to go, and they're all going to be linked below in the description. So if your child wakes up half an hour, 20 minutes into an hour-long nap, and they are happy, you can leave them there for what is called a crib hour. So we're just going to leave them there to see what they do. Are they going to roll around and hang out and babble and kick until you go in there to pick them up when the hour is over? Or are they going to be able to get themselves back to sleep? So many times parents jump in because they see that their eyes are open and they either want to help them get back to sleep quickly before they fully wake up, or they want to just get on with the rest of the day so that they can start knowing the next awake window starts and move the next nap up. But really, we want to give them the time and the space to see if they can get themselves back to sleep, because that is the goal. When children do start to learn to link naps together, it's going to feel like two segmented naps. We're going to get one nap, then we're going to have some awake time where they figure out how to get themselves back to sleep, and then we're going to have another nap. That gap will close in the middle, so it will be one continuous nap, but we first have to give them the chance in order to be able to figure out how to get themselves back to sleep without the sleep pressure that they had at the beginning of the nap. So if they wake up calm and happy, give them time, give them that full crib hour to see what they do for them to be able to figure out how to get themselves back to sleep. On the flip side, if your child wakes up really upset from that nap, then we still want to give them a minute or two to see what they do and if they can get themselves back to sleep. Because you've been working so hard at the beginning of the nap to help them learn how to fall asleep independently, we want them to be able to wake up and think, panic, panic, I need some help. And then, oh wait, I remember at the beginning of my nap, I sucked my thumb. I rolled to my side. I played with my sleep sack. I did whatever it was in order to be able to get myself asleep. So let me try that again. But again, if we run in too soon, which it's so hard not to do as a parent, we take that opportunity away from them to be able to figure out how to get themselves back to sleep. But if they are crying for more than, depending on their age and depending on the level of their crying, which again, we go over in the course, when to intervene and when to let them settle, we talk about when to go in and then what to do when you do go in. So when you do go in, the goal, if they haven't had a very short nap, is to help them get back to sleep. So whatever you did at the beginning of the nap, you're going to then help them again, ideally soothe in the crib so that they can get themselves back to sleep. So it's still going to feel segmented, but again, as they get that great practice putting themselves to sleep at the beginning of the naps, then it will roll over and carry over into the middle of the nap so they can get that hour-long nap. So if you are struggling with short naps, as a recap, first thing you're going to do is look into how they are falling asleep and help them learn how to fall asleep more independently. 2, you are going to either leave them for them to figure out how to get themselves back to sleep, or you're going to go assist them so they can get back to sleep and learn how to start to link those sleep cycles together. And again, if you need more support, this is what my clients come to me for, because I can give them the step-by-step of how to help your child learn how to fall asleep in the crib and how to keep themselves asleep when they wake up after that first sleep cycle. So one bonus tip I'm going to give you is to think about how long they're awake. If your child is over the age of 4 months old, we're going to start to move away from awake windows and towards a set schedule, because that's going to give their body clocks a consistent time to start to get tired every single day. It's much easier when they know that sleep is coming and expected than if sometimes a nap is at 8 a.m., sometimes a nap is at 10 a.m., sometimes a nap doesn't come until 11:30. If their body has no idea what to expect, it's going to be really hard for them to consistently fall asleep easily. So I hope that was very, very helpful. If you do have any questions, of course, you can always pop it into the comments. But if this is starting to feel stressful, then focus on the first nap of the day. Hopefully they've been well rested from the night. They ate a good morning feed. That is going to help them get the practice in, but you not feel overwhelmed and stressed, especially if your child is under 6 months and doing more than 2 naps. It's going to feel like your entire day is just taken over by naps. So really break it down if needed. Don't feel like you have to dive all the way in. Start with the first nap, and then once that is kind of mastered, then we move on to nap number 2. So again, any questions, pop them in the comments. If you want to eliminate all the guesswork and just get straight to the point of exactly what to do to get longer naps, all you have to do is go to the courses linked in my description. You're just gonna go to your child's age and then purchase that one. They are all less than a week's worth of coffee that you're going to have to drink in order to be able to get the sleep that you need and get yourselves through that day without any naps. So I will see you in my next video or inside the course.